Now that we've got our game all laid out, it's time to get that ball moving. Now keep in mind that we have two objects on screen. One is this mountain, and two is our golf ball. It's important that we distinguish between the two because we want only the golf ball to be driving or putting or tapping on the screen. We don't want to see that mountain moving around. So we need to give the golf ball a unique name. Click on the eye tool, then click on the golf ball, and notice that a new dialog box opens. This dialog box is the backpack for the turtle. The golf ball turtle has a set of information that tells attributes about it, such as its name, its X and Y coordinates, its heading, its size, and other information. There's also a set of rules that tell it how to behave in the game, but we'll get back to that in a moment. So, move to the State tab, select Edit, and let's give this golf ball the name Golf Ball. And say OK. You can see that name is changed now at the top of the backpack. Now what we need to do is point the ball in the direction we want it to head. So we need to give the player some controls in order to do that. Right now, the golf ball has a heading of 0. But let's create a button that allows the user to change that. Think about the directions on a compass. Starting at the top, we have north, or N. In order to make the ball point north, we will indicate that we're speaking only to the golf ball, so we say its name, golf ball, comma, space, and then give it an instruction. Set your heading to 0, which is north. Leave it at once invisible, and say OK. Move that button down here. Now notice that if I press the button, nothing seems to happen to the golf ball, but that the heading is 0. Let's make another button. What's next? East. Speak only to the golf ball, comma, space. Set your heading to 90 degrees around the circle, which is Seth 90. OK. Move that into a logical position relative to the north button. Let's make two more buttons. S for south. Speak only to the golf ball. And W for west, golf ball. What is 180 plus 90? That's 270. Seth, set your heading to 270. And again, notice the logical orientation of these buttons. They will make sense to the player in the graphical user interface. Now let's get that ball moving. If I press this button, I'll make a drive button. That's a long distance hit. So what should that look like? Let's speak only to the golf ball and give it a special command. We could use forward just to move it forwards, but glide makes it look as though it's moving a little bit more like a real golf ball rolling on a green. So we'll use the command glide, give it a distance, say 100 pixels, and a speed at which we want it to move, 0.2. And I'll move that button down here. So for instance, if I press the east button, you'll notice that the heading of the golf ball changes to 90, that is east. And then if I press drive, it moves 100 pixels at a speed of 0.2. You can adjust that speed in order to make it look just the way you want. Let's make a mid-range hit. That will be putt. Speak only to the golf ball. Glide, 20. Usually putts move at a little bit slower speed, so instead of 0.2, let's do 0.02. Let's see what a putt looks like, a little slower. And now let's make tap. When we get really close to the hole, we need to be able to just gently tap it in. Very short distance. Glide 5 at a speed of 0.02. And move that down. Let's see what tap looks like. Oh, very tiny, tiny little distance. Perfect. So far, so good. We've got the ball so that we can aim it in all 4 directions and 3 different ways of hitting it, just like in a real golf game. Now, what's next? Well, we need to get that ball so that if it comes close to the mountain and moves into the mountain, it doesn't just sit there or go through the mountain. It needs to deflect off the mountain. So let's think about how we're going to do that. We need to provide the golf ball a command that says, if you hit another turtle, then you're going to turn a little bit and then continue moving, just like a real bounce. So let's go back to this backpack for the golf ball. Click on the Rules tab. And notice that we have a field in which we can provide an instruction for on touching, meaning you touch something, then you do this. Let's insert this command. How about a right turn of 90 degrees, followed by a glide of 20 at a speed of 0.05. Again, we could do a different turn. We could use a forward command or adjust the speed or distance, entirely up to you. So let's see what that looks like. Our golf ball is near the mountain, heading east. Let's putt. Didn't quite get close enough. Let's putt. And did you see the turn? Right turn of 90, glide of 20 at a speed of 0.05. So far, so good. Let's move on.